Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Three Men and a Football. Hello lads.
Evening lads.
How are we doing,
boys? How are we?
Good.
All good.
All good.
So, another week.
Wow, it's flown by, Si.
Yeah. It's almost as if we've just done one.
Well, literally almost.
All right, so again, I'll kick off today with some comments, but I wanted to start by giving you a bit of an update on who we've got watching and that kind of stuff and listening to the podcast. So I checked today and looked at the places where we've got people listening to the podcast via iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Google Podcasts. And we've got people in the UK, multiple states in the US, France, Thailand, Ukraine, Ireland. It's going pretty well.
It's going well. How many more people do we know?
Well, I mean, I'm bribing people to listen to it. And on YouTube, we've got well over 1,000 views of the videos we've put up so far. And the great thing is that everyone's interacting. We're getting loads of comments. People are listening to or watching the whole thing as well, which is great. We're getting some really good feedback.
Excellent.
Thanks very much.
Now, with the feedback, did they mention Thomas's rants at all? Because that's coming up later on the show.
Well, it's generally about Thomas's rant. In fact, let's get to my first comment of the week.
Oh.
Which is, who in their right mind lets Thomas rant? I blame you, Si. That was from Jimmy Dowdall. See, Jimmy is taking advantage of the fact that he can comment and give us crap, and then we can have an interchange with him on YouTube.
So I just want to...
We don't like speaking to him, that's right.
Do you want to mention how we know Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy is actually my sister's ex and the father of mine and Thomas's two nieces that we love very much.
Yeah, not Jimmy.
But yeah, Jimmy's a big Liverpool fan, watches the podcast, gives us crap on a regular basis.
Good. Can we limit the number of Liverpool fans on the podcast?
No, mate. No, not at all.
No.
It's meant to be a little bit biased.
Of course.
You're just not good at it.
I don't think we're biased enough, to be honest.
You've got to be a little bit more bitter, Darren.
Yeah, bitter and twisted.
Yeah. Okay, so comment number 2 is, love Thomas's new segment, The Wall of Hate. Looks like Thomas is releasing all of his mental pressure and John Terry is the punching bag, serving as a stress reliever. That was funny and unexpected, and that's from Matthew Bashu, who seems to comment every week.
Nice one.
Then we got one on our COVID-19 Impact on Football podcast. Great episode on COVID-19 Impact on Football. Really important to mention mental health. Keep up the good work. And that was from Baby Perlo or Thomas's one fan, Dan. I think that's a really good point, actually. We mentioned it in the last podcast about, we were talking about the youth system and the academies and how that impacts people's mental health. But I think one of the things that is not talked about enough with COVID-19 is the after effects of everything that we're going through. So the pressure of what you're going through with not being able to work, not having money, kids not being in school, having to homeschool. And then the pressure of, am I going to get this virus and am I going to pass it on to family? That's a long lasting overhang from this illness that is going to affect us for a while.
Yeah,
definitely. And Dan was mentioning that was a good thing to mention. And then I also got one from which just tickled me. It was brilliant. In fact, it was to you, Darren, but I just stole it.
Oh.
And it's just genius, right? Our five-a-side was pretty good. Stuart, Thomas, Sean and Simon Butterworth, and Danny Costello. We kicked everyone's asses back in the day. I don't think Danny Costello quite got the fact that we were talking about professional world's best players. His comment was that he used to play in a good five-a-side team with Thomas and his brother.
Does he think I played with? Yeah. Does he think I played with Gaza? I know we've got similar styles.
You look alike.
But Gaza now.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. And then a couple of shout outs as well to Leon Hymas, who I think is hilarious because he keeps giving Darren crap about Neville Southall. He thinks
all the time.
Brilliant.
Cy Watson giving us good feedback. And actually, Cy Watson's just started a podcast. And I think it's called The Mighty Sharp Tongues. And it's a bit of a play on Coming to America. So, the barbershop.
Yeah.
And I listened to the first episode and that was really good as well. And then Lucy Santantonin, who I work with. She's one of our international listeners. She lives in France, and she gave us some good feedback this week. She said she really enjoyed it and is looking forward to the next episode. Oh, and you didn't put it off, Thomas, which I'm surprised.
Can I just ask, can they understand me?
I do worry about that a little bit because we've got people listening all over the world. How do they know what we're saying?
I've got no idea.
With Size Connections, what he does is he dubs you in.
Yeah, wait till you hear your voice if you listen to it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not actually you. It's like the old Bruce Lee movies. The
fella off Police Academy did the voices.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
Michael Winslow, here's one for you.
Well played. Well done. Well done. All right, Tom. So lead us in this week. What are we going to talk about?
Okay, so the last couple of podcasts we've done, we've been quite serious and a little bit hard-hitting subjects, the academy and COVID. So we thought we'd keep it on the hard subject and we'll talk about hard men in football. Is there any hard men still about? Is there... what kind of hard men can you remember, or who have you seen play? Have you got any funny stories of hard men from games that you've seen or been to? So I'll leave it up to you, and then we'll see where we go.
All right, Daz, because you are basically the hard man of this podcast.
Yeah.
Why don't you lead us off with one of yours?
It goes without saying, Si, so any more of that, I'll tell you to button it. Just letting you out there, all right? As you know, you play with me. I'm the hard man of our team every time we play. So I'm going to name who I think is the ultimate hard man in football.
Go on.
Someone who I seen play in the 80s. Someone who then went abroad and did it. And some of his reckless challenges in Scotland confirmed his status as, I think, the hard man of football. Graham Souness.
Oh, yeah. Brilliant.
Graham Souness had legs like tree trunks. But you know, for me, what defines the hard man is someone who's not stupid with the challenges, but someone who just loves them and literally gets kicked, gets on with it, and kicks them and gets on with it. Yeah. You know, I think now the definition of hard man slightly changed, certainly for me to be one. But I do think... Well, you know me, Si, any problems, I'm there. If I can't do it with my mouth, I've got no chance.
You're there. We're in your car.
I'm generally hiding behind you or Thomas. But I think Souness, though, if you could put Souness in any team, I think, any team, he could play. Yeah. You know, he was there, he was vocal, he would move around the pitch, he'd score your goals, but he was that hard man and he would take no crap off anyone. Give it out and take it. Do you remember when he got the flag? Was it in Galatasaray, Thomas?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he denies he did it on purpose. It was almost like someone said to him, "I'll do this," and you celebrate it. And it was something...
The best thing about it was he run down the pitch, he tried to plant it, and it didn't go in. He had to redo it.
We've all been there.
He caused a riot for that.
Yeah.
Did he?
He caused a riot, yeah.
But even now, when you listen to him on Sky Sports, you know what he says. It's coming across as, I'm hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're not messing with him.
Yeah, you're not messing with him. And I just think, you know, growing up in the 80s like we did, Thomas, not as much. He was more of a... Were you 90s, Thomas?
I'm 90s, definitely, yeah.
Shut up.
Which is a joke in itself. Yeah. I certainly think there was more hard men around then, but I think Graham Souness was the top of that.
Yeah, he was brilliant. All right, I'll throw one out for you. How about Gattuso?
Oh, yeah.
Classic that, isn't it?
Hey, there's a story with him and Joe Jordan.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, on the sideline?
Yeah. Because I've got Joe Jordan.
Oh, good one. Yeah. Joe Jordan didn't back down, though, did he?
No. He's from Scotland.
Yeah, and Joe Jordan was about 70.
What happened? I don't know.
Gattuso went after him on the line.
Did he?
Yeah, and didn't he headbutt him? Yeah,
went to headbutt him and Joe Jordan threw one back at him.
Yeah.
So Si, why him, though?
Well, I just think he was the enforcer in that team. He was brilliant, and you had a load of beautiful footballers playing around him, and basically he just ran the game, and he was flying into tackles everywhere. And he was just someone like, I'd liken him to Souness. So he wasn't cute with his tackles. If the ball was there, he was taking every bit of the man and the ball with him, and he did it every time. But strangely enough, he only got 2 red cards.
Really?
Yeah. Well, and in that league as well, you'd have thought, in the Italian league, you'd have thought he'd have got more, but he was brilliant.
Didn't he go? He went to Rangers, didn't he?
Yeah, and he was just as bad there.
Yes, I forgot he'd gone to Rangers.
Yeah.
Who bought him then? Was it Smith?
Yeah, Walter Smith. I think so. But he was there for a while, wasn't he?
To be honest, he's a bit of a hero of mine, that Gattuso. Because if you remember back to 2005 in the Champions League final, he took Gerrard back for the third goal, the penalty, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
And he touched the Champions League trophy on the way out the tunnel before the game, the stupid fool. You don't ever do that.
Yeah, good point.
So,
all right, Tommy, what are you throwing out there?
Right, I'm going to surprise you. I'm picking an Evertonian.
Are you picking me?
Picking an Evertonian.
Not Neil Warnock, is it?
No. Duncan Ferguson.
Yeah, he's on my list.
Yeah.
He wasn't initially the first hard man that I thought from going the game and watching, but I hated going the derby when he was playing because he used to bully Sammy Hippier. And Sammy Hippier was class and strong and Carragher to an extent. But he used to bully them. And he was a handful and he was on arms and elbows and he wasn't bothered about getting in its angle. And if he got in its angle and we didn't have VAR, then he'd leave his foot in and stamp right down your leg or stand on your ankle on the way up. A little shove or head together and roll his forehead down your face. He was nasty. He was a true tough footballer and then someone I'd hate to have gone up against.
Yeah, didn't he a couple of times have people round the throat on the pitch?
Yeah.
He had the Tottenham player like that, didn't he? What was he? He was the centre half.
Freund,
yeah.
That's just hello in Scotland, mate.
Well, there's the other thing as well. The other thing that we're talking about here is real hard men. So the difference between a football hard man, and I've got one of them, and a hard man away from football. Duncan Ferguson is a proper hard man. So 269 appearances and 8 red cards, which is pretty high. Although I've got one that is ridiculous in comparison. But he also went to jail.
Yeah. Headbutts in Scotland.
Headbutted someone. And then also, the best story ever is 2 people broke into his house and he caught them.
And battered them.
And absolutely battered them. Imagine, right? I mean, I don't want you to imagine being a burglar, but imagine how bad your luck is if you pick a house, you break in, and Duncan Ferguson meets you.
You can just imagine walking down and go, which house? Yeah, that looks all right, that one there. Who lives there? Don't know, but look at the state of it. Let's go in. Next minute, 6'4" or whatever it is, Duncan Ferguson comes down, socks rolled down to his ankles, shirt hanging out.
You know, he's meant to be a really nice fella as well. Everyone who interacts with him, and he's brilliant with the fans, always going over to see the fans after the game and all that kind of stuff. I think he's great away from the game. He'd be brilliant. Be great to go off for a pint with.
But there's a story. My mate used to work on the doors in Liverpool, and he told me a story when Ferguson came into his place with a few of his friends, and a few of his friends were being a bit silly and stuff, and Ferguson sorted it out and said, we'll sort this. Sorry about that. Dead, like, kind, generous.
Yeah.
You know, but he's someone you want in your changing room before the game.
Definitely, yeah.
He's going into a battle. Definitely.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, Daz, what have you got next?
I
think you're going to... honestly, I think you're going to struggle to beat that one. That's probably one of the best ones in our lifetime.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm going to throw another one out there who just seems to go about his business. Jaap Stam.
Yeah, brilliant.
So Jaap Stam was centre half who forwards seemed to run into him and bounce off him. And I saw him play about 2 or 3 years ago in the Soccer Aid.
Yeah.
And he just played like he was in the Premier League. I'm sure he could have played.
Yeah.
But he went round and he did his work and he got on with it. And he gave that tough exterior that says, don't mess with me because you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And he didn't almost go round and make silly challenges, but you just knew he was a hard man. Yeah. And he wouldn't give an inch to anybody.
What a quality footballer he was.
Oh, mate. Well, the only one Ferguson regrets selling.
Yeah.
Him and me.
Well, he was in his prime though, when Ferguson sold him.
Yeah. But wherever he goes and wherever he just comes across, when you even hear him in interviews, he just has that look on his face all the time. Don't mess with me.
Do you think he was possibly just really strong and had a really tough exterior rather than being a tough man? You know, I don't ever see him putting his foot in, or he was just massive and strong. Are we not getting mixed up with him being a hard case rather than a...
No, because I've read a couple of books on United players, Neville, Scholes, Giggs, he's couple of them, and they're telling you this guy's a tough fella.
Yeah,
This guy's a tough, hard case.
Good.
And you know, he had that that Dutch mentality of like almost win at all cost, and that single-mindedness that a lot of the Dutch players had.
Well, I think that's one of the things, isn't it? As I said before, people can be tough on the field and not so much off the field. So one of them that I had was David Batty.
Yeah.
Now you'd hate to go in for a tackle with David Batty because he was just horrific in a tackle. But apparently, off the pitch, just not interested in hanging around football at all. Apparently he'd be last in training and first out. Never really interacted with anyone, was really quiet, lived out in the sticks somewhere, never carried on in football once he stopped playing. But he did once break Keith Curle's jaw with an elbow.
Keith Curle. And there's a story side. The rumour is that he only ever wanted to get paid in cash.
Who?
David Batty.
Really?
Yeah. That was a story going around.
Funny.
Which is bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, a decent player, though.
Yeah, I don't live the Inland Revenue, watch this show, listen to this show, but it'd be worth checking.
Yeah, he won the league, didn't he, with Blackburn?
Yes.
Yeah. Did he have a fight with his teammate as well at Leeds?
No, that was at Newcastle.
Was it?
Oh, no, it wasn't. Newcastle was
Lee Bowyer.
Bowyer and Dyer.
Yeah.
Bowyer and Dyer.
Yeah,
I'm sure he did it as well and got sent off in Europe.
Did he?
I'm sure he did.
That might be, was that Haaland or someone like that who played as well? And they had
I can't remember. I just remember Europe, and that springs to mind.
All right, who else you got, Tom?
I've got my list. I've got a long list, but one that really did impress me, and I mean, I hate him, but Roy Keane. Do you know why I really thought he was an hard case? And nothing to do with like kicking off at Ireland or his bad tackles on that Alfinger Haaland.
Oh, it was bad, that.
It was horrendous. And he said in his book he'd done it on purpose.
Yeah.
How he didn't get done for that, I don't know. But when he went in the tunnel against Arsenal.
Yeah, brilliant against Vieira.
And Vieira was bullying Gary Neville, which everyone in the fucking world would love to bully Gary Neville, wouldn't they? What a dream that'd be. But for him to just barge past everyone and just grab Vieira, who was huge compared to him, and saying, "Hey, lads, try and picking on me." You know, that takes, not only have you've got to have a bit of bottle.
Yeah,
and you've got to back yourself. You know, you must have a bit about yourself to say, I don't care who you are, I'm going to knock 7 tons out of you.
Yeah,
so,
he had 7 red cards in his career, but the other person on the other side of that, it was Vieira, 307 appearances and 8 red cards. He was another one, weren't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how tough he was. They did a program not so long ago where Keane and Vieira were together, and they were looking back at their careers and trying to pick a joint team between Arsenal and Man United. But it was almost still there. There was almost still that little bit of needle between them, wasn't it?
Well, do you know where Roy Keane reminds me of a more modern Graham Souness?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Do you know where he'll score your goals, you're a tough player. But
complete midfielders. They're just complete midfielders, aren't they?
Yeah. But I think what comes, we've mentioned a lot of these so-called hard men, if you like, it's that working class background they've had, almost grown up in them tough areas that makes you hard and takes no crap off people. You know, and almost like, well, I'm here and I'm taking your spot.
Yeah. What about Steve McMahon?
He's on my list. Simon, another one.
What a great player.
Yeah, underestimated.
Oh, totally. Yeah. He was brilliant for Liverpool.
But he was slow.
Yeah, very slow. But he didn't move fast. Did he remember he used to battle with Vinnie Jones as well?
Yeah.
But we're not speedists on this show, Thomas. We don't go in for that kind of stuff. Yeah. But another one, of course, was Neil Ruddock.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I remember Neil Ruddock trying to got a ball down at the back and knocked it 6 yards in front of him so he could 2-foot Andy Cole. And I'm like, what's all that about?
Yeah.
I mean, him and Alan Shearer, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Alan Shearer was his best man at his wedding or something along those lines, or godparent to his kids. And they both went at it when Newcastle played, or was it Southampton played Liverpool, and they both had a go at each other. I mean,
really?
You know, it's like watching you two argue.
It's not that good.
Yeah, that's a good one, Neil Ruddock, because he played for Liverpool at a time when we were just not good. And he played through those years where we didn't have much at all. We had some good players, but We just were not good enough.
Was Julian Dix there as well?
Julian Dix was another one on my list.
He's on my list as well, yeah.
Yeah.
He looked like a nutter, didn't he?
Yeah.
He looked like he had some problems.
And he could smash a ball, couldn't he?
Oh, God, yeah. He did a free kick and a penalty like you wouldn't believe.
So, speaking of left-backs, throw another one at you. Stuart Pearce.
Yeah. 202 appearances, 2 red cards.
He was just clever.
2 red cards?
Yeah. I never ever doubted him down as an hard case. He did a bit of crying and a bit of shouting at the World Cup or the Euros when he scored the pen. He was never an hard case for me.
Hard footballer, not a hard case.
Yeah, because he's quite cultural as well. You know, he's into his opera and stuff like that. He's quite well-rounded, cultural guy.
We've lost Thomas.
Sorry, I mentioned the word culture. I do apologise, Thomas. When we come off here, I'll tell you what it means.
All right, Tom, who you got?
Well, I've got loads of your usual suspects on there, but I just wanted to throw it out there. What about, would we class the likes of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo as hard cases on the football field nowadays?
No.
Because of how hard they are, how much damage they take on the pitch and just bounce back up and just get on with it.
Depends how you're looking at it, though, isn't it? If you're looking at people who can take damage and continue to do damage to the opposition, then they're great. But I guess that's not how I would see it. I see the hard man moniker as someone who can bully a game or bully the opposition into helping your team win the game. And there are players that we've seen over the years. Gerrard did it when Gerrard was at his best. He would win games because he would bully teams, but he would bully teams a couple of ways. He'd kick people. I mean, he threw in a tackle against Everton once. You had to turn away from it. It was that bad.
Yeah.
He'd bully teams in that way. He'd bully teams by harassing them. I'd also harass his own players and get us up the park.
Yeah.
He won games for us. But again, you probably wouldn't class him as a hard man.
No.
I've
got 2 old school ones here. Not old school, but when I first started going to watch football and Wimbledon was still about, I've got Vinnie Jones, who I thought was even harder. Was John Fashanu.
John Fashanu,
Fashanu. I'll give you John Fashanu. Wasn't he a kung fu expert?
I think he martial arts expert, yeah. Remember he used to do gladiators and do that, ooga!
Yeah. The length of his legs.
They were huge.
Yeah. He was great they were great for them, weren't they, both of them?
Yeah, but they'd go up for an header and it'd be, I'm going in, even if it's midway and you haven't left the floor, you're still getting an elbow in the face. They'd come right down on top of your head, right down your shins, right down your calf, stand on your feet. They properly knew how to leave it in. And just before the referee started to really jump on top of it, that was when they were really good then.
Yeah. I just didn't put Vinnie Jones because I think there's a difference between a thug and a hard man, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think here's one for you, Thomas and Si. Martin Keown.
Yeah, brilliant. Because he turned in, we were talking about him a couple of weeks ago, he turned into a brilliant footballer once Wenger had gone there. But he was a proper hard man. Hard footballer, could throw a tackle in, didn't back down to anyone. And that one where he jumps up at Ruud van Nistelrooy when he missed the penalty. And landed on his head.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, so I've got another classic. One of Thomas's mates, Sergio Ramos.
Oh, he's not an hard man. He's a fanny.
But hang on. 26 red cards. I don't know where I heard that from. I think someone told me.
It was me. 26
red cards. Now, he's probably a hard footballer, hard on the field.
Yeah.
You can't see him being a hard case off the field at all. He's not bullying people, but in the game, he bullied people. Like what he did to Salah.
Yeah, and Karius.
Yeah.
Elbowed him round.
Let it go, Thomas. Just let it go. You've had your rant.
All right.
Yeah, can I do another rant about him?
Not about him, but you can do one about someone else later. All right, what about John Hartson?
Oh, I used to love John Hartson. What a quality footballer he was. Totally underrated, wasn't he?
Yeah. But I get the impression with him as well. He was hard off it.
Yeah.
Off the field as well. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Liverpool fan as well, isn't he? So sensible.
Oh, for God's sake.
But I feel for him now. He's gone through some horrific times, and he got a brain tumour.
Yeah.
He had the operation, and I mean,
he got that from testicular cancer, didn't he?
Did he?
That's what caused it.
Yeah, I think it was. I think you're right.
Yeah. He was a quality footballer, and I mean, I'd say he was a hard man. You wouldn't want to go up against him anyway.
No, he was just all frame, wasn't he? When you play, it's almost like a modern day Mark Hughes.
Yeah,
that awkwardness about him, you know.
Yeah. Mark Hughes was another one. Mark Hughes,
he was tough, wasn't he? Yeah, he was tough. He could handle himself. He wasn't a bit scared.
No. And they nicknamed him Sparky because off the field he was so quiet and just, again, I think the word culture I'm going to use, Thomas, I'm sorry, I won't use it again. But on the field, that's when he got his spark, and that's when they nicknamed him Sparky.
Yeah, good one. All right, what about, so you mentioned earlier, Alan Shearer?
Really tough.
So the thing about Alan Shearer that worries me is there was a conversation not so long ago about his bust up with Keane. Remember when Keane got sent off in the corner of the pitch? Alan Shearer picked the ball up, they tried to get them off each other, and they went squared up.
Yeah.
Anyway, Keane got sent off, and they were talking about him waiting in the tunnel for him. And Alan Shearer was just, and someone said something like, you know, "Oh, were you really worried?" And he was like, "No, I'd have been all right." And just played it right down. That's the kind of person you don't want to be messing with.
Quite right. But again, he grew up in a tough Newcastle area of the Wolves End or somewhere like that. You know, a lot of these working class guys aren't going to back down.
No, not at all.
Even if they're going to get beat in a fight or whatever, they're not going to back down.
No, you're right.
You know, I come from the hard-hitting area of Old Swan, Stonycroft, Nottingham area. And, you know, it's
depending on what day it is.
Depending on who's collecting the bins that week.
All right, who else?
So I think we had a couple of people in the past 70s, if you like, who were regarded as tough guys. And we want to send our condolences to Norman Hunter, who passed away recently. He was a hard man, along with a couple of others, Leeds players in the 70s who went on to, did they win the league? I think they won the league, didn't they, and stuff? Yeah. They had Jack Charlton there, Hunter, Giles.
Ball.
Who, sorry?
Ball. Yeah, wasn't he in one of the ones who was in like that mad fight on the pitch?
Alan Ball?
No, was that not Alan Ball? No. He was the little fellow with the ginger hair.
Alan Ball?
No.
Billy Bremner?
Billy Bremner. Very, very similar side.
Similar. Short
and ginger. Yeah, he had a fight with...
That's the same fella.
He had a fight with Kevin Keegan in an FA Cup final. But that sort of Leeds side was almost the hardest football team around, and there was, you know, Brian Clough hated them because they just bullied teams by all accounts.
Yeah.
But certainly Norman Hunter was right up there, and Chopper Harris, who played for Chelsea.
Chopper Harris, yeah.
I remember he tried to make a challenge on Georgie Best, and Georgie Best rode the challenge, went round the keeper I think twice and scored. And afterwards, like years later, Chopper Harris talks about it. He said, it's on the lines of, he knew I was going to get him. I knew I was going to get him, and yet I missed him. You know, it's just like...
Oh, that's close.
Well, got anyone else, Tom?
I've only got an old one, and be Tommy Smith, the Anfield Iron.
Yeah, brilliant.
Tommy, yeah.
He's my last one on my list, really. And I've got a funny story that from a sportsman's dinner. Joey Jones was just signed for Liverpool, Wrexham lad. He said he was tough. He said I was dead skinny. He said I signed, and Bob Paisley's my manager. I plays my first game, gets sent off. He said a couple of days later, plays again, gets a yellow card. So he gets pulled in by Bob Paisley, says, if you get sent off or another yellow card the next couple of games, you're done with me. You're not playing for Liverpool anymore. I want players on the pitch. I don't want any trouble. He said, so the next game, he said, he goes up against this centre-forward who was drifting over on his side, and he'd got a bit of a reputation for putting himself about and hurting the defenders. He said, so he went in for the tackle with Joey Jones, 50-50. He said, and Joey Jones won the tackle. The centre-forward jumped up and spat right in his face.
Ooh.
He said, so he's there. He said, the monster's just about to take over. He said, and I'm just about to butt him or smack him or do something. He said, and Tommy Smith runs over and grabbed me just from the back of my neck. He said, pull me back. He said, remember what Bob said? You're going to lose your job. He said, they'll get rid of you. He said, don't worry, I'll sort him out. So he says to this centre-forward, you've had it. I'm going to have you. So he said, there's about 5 minutes before half-time. He said, half-time, this fella goes centre-half. This centre-forward goes to centre-half. They switch the positions around. said, goes in, change. He said, didn't think nothing of it. Comes out second half. There he is, centre half again. Finishes the game. Final whistle goes with shaking hands. He sprinted off, this centre forward, down the tunnel. Barricades him in the changing room. He said, Tommy Smith's gone after him. He said the whole team had to get changed in the corridor because he was scared of Tommy Smith. He wouldn't let him in. So, good story.
You wouldn't mess with him.
I believe he was an hard man, like.
Yeah. But in those days, they could have a fight on the pitch and still not get sent off.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe the main difference with hard men now and then. Hard men now, or people who are bullying teams, can do it without really anything happening. Because no one's throwing a punch anymore because there's cameras everywhere. There's replays, especially now with VAR. I mean, that's another episode on its own. But with VAR, you're not doing anything. You do something wrong, you're getting caught.
Yeah.
So it's different. Whereas then, if you threw in a bad tackle on someone, then you expected someone to either give you a smack or next time the ball drops, you're going to get it straight away.
Yeah. Well, wasn't that sort of what Roy Keane did that tackle on that fella? Because
Alfinger Haaland,
yeah, because Robson, he did it to Keane in a game, and Robson just said to him, Brian Robson, who again, was a tough player, said, "Your time will come."
Yeah,
along those lines, and next, whenever he came back, he done him.
Yeah, it was. That was a horrific tackle. He was so far off the ground.
Yeah,
and then stamped right down as well.
But Vinnie Jones did that to Gary Stevens, who played for Tottenham, I think, at the time. And Vinnie Jones did a similar challenge, just come right across him and ended his career.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't like stuff like that.
No. Well, Daz, as we said, you are the enforcer, so...
I do it in a different kind of way, Si.
Yeah. You enforce it by speaking to people.
Yeah, so they go deaf.
Yeah. Right, so you've got to pick one. Who's your hard man?
Thomas?
Me? I'm your hard man. I wouldn't go that far, Darren.
You're the hard man. We've got problems. Got to pick one.
It's hard. The hardest fella I've seen play, I'd have to say, it's got to be Roy Keane.
Good one. Daz?
I'm going for Souness.
Oh, nice. Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit controversial. I'm going for Duncan Ferguson.
Oh, hey. And
the reason I'm going for Duncan Ferguson is that he battered a couple of burglars in his house. So for me, that's serious. So here's the next question. Take these hard footballers and put them in the Liverpool amateur leagues. How do you think they fare? I had this conversation not so long ago about quality footballers. I think we were talking about Paul Scholes.
Yes.
Okay, so Scholes was unbelievable in our lifetime. Could pass, could tackle, could run the game. In fact, he got better as he got older. But how would he have played in the kind of top-end amateur leagues in Liverpool? Because someone has just taken him out.
I think for me, though, you're only as good as your players around you. And if Scholes should have played with me, he'd have been crap.
If I'd have managed him, he'd have been brilliant.
Yeah.
You'd have played him right back.
Think about some of the games that we've played and some of the stuff that's happened in amateur games that we've played in, Daz.
Listen, Ty, I just want to come on, and our friend Colin Butterworth tells a story much better than me. When we played a team from the north of Liverpool round, I think they're called the Red Rum.
Yeah, from Croxteth, yeah.
Yeah, in Croxteth. And I played centre half, and Colin was on my left. And Colin tried to take a throw in between a Kestrel, I think it was, and 3 pit bull dogs. Now that's intimidation. I let Colin take most of the throws that day. And I tried to stay in the centre of the pitch. Being the hard man, I didn't want to get involved.
If you remember, Daz, that was a horrible game. We got changed in like an old hut. Yeah. And then we come out, and I played centre mid at the time. And they were a really good team. They were doing really well, but we had a quality footballing team. And they always had loads of lads on the line, but basically you could just smell weed right up and down the line. But they always brought their pit bulls with them. So you'd have like 10 dogs on the line. And every so often, a dog would just run across the pitch after the ball. But then this fella was stood there with his glove on and his Kestrel on his hand. And he kept flying it across the pitch. So he'd send it off and then it'd come back. So all of a sudden, you just hear some wind going past your neck. Honestly, it was just unbelievable.
Did you win?
We won, yeah.
Yeah, we won, yeah. But there's other game. I remember my first game when I was 17 in the Liverpool County Com, playing. I don't know, I was playing for at the time, and literally there was a goal went in against our team, and I went to just buy the goal, and this guy, I don't know how old he was, 30, imagine, just give me a push and a kick and I fell over type thing, and he got the ball and ran off, and it was like, oh, this is men's football now. I get it. This is men's football.
But as you know, I like a little bit of needle, and I like to get involved in a little. In fact, I think that I played better when I was angry, so I'd almost wind myself up a bit in the game, and I got myself into some scrapes on the football field. I've been chased off the football field. I've been threatened with guns, with knives, with everything. The boys are coming down to get me. I don't know how many times. But for me, that was all part of football. Yeah, I remember nutmegging someone, and he chased me for about 10 minutes. Literally chased me. I was running with the ball. He's chasing me around the pitch.
Thomas, can you tell us about that game we all I didn't play in, but certainly you managed and I played in when we played the team in the cup. I think you know what game I'm talking about.
Simon did play.
Did he? Did Simon play in that game?
Simon did play, yeah.
With the big guy in goal.
Yeah, it was. I forgot what they're called now. Yeah, Greeny.
It was Quarrybank.
Quarrybank, yeah.
Yeah, Quarrybank.
We were vying for them for the league and for the cup, and one of their goalkeeper, Greeny, turned up, and he thought one of our players was banned, who was changed, running out onto the pitch to warm up. And he started swearing at one of our lads having a go. You shouldn't be playing this, that and the other. And he ran over and picked a concrete flagstone up and tried to hit him with the flagstone before the game had started. And then started throwing like kicks. And our player caught his leg, pushed him away. And anyway, it all calmed down. Luckily enough, we had a really good referee that game. And we got beat on penalties.
Yeah, let's not talk about how that game ended.
But it was absolutely brilliant. Well, we should save these or save them for another podcast, because once we've established ourselves a little bit better, these are absolute crackers. Some of the stories we've got, some of the away days we've had.
Yes.
So we should save another podcast.
Well, you know, you keep saying it, Tom, but that's one of the reasons why we love football, is because we've got all these amazing memories. That's why we're here having this conversation now.
Yeah, brilliant. It's
brilliant.
All right.
So we're reaching that stage again, aren't we? Where
I love this bit.
We bring out the beast. We bring out Thomas's wall of hate. So Thomas,
what do you mean the beast?
Well, I mean, to be fair, you're really nice now, but now all of a sudden you're switching on. It's like someone's behind you, just winding you up and letting you go. All right, so Tom, who are you hating this week?
Okay, so this week I'm really hating one of the best foreign imports this country has ever seen. He's a Leeds and Man United legend, and he was a catalyst for their team's great success. This week, I'm mostly hating Eric Cantona.
Oh, so you know what? You're going to get held about this, because we've got people who watch us every week who love Eric Cantona.
I can't stand him, and here's one of the reasons why. His arrogance on and off the field was second to none at the time. I didn't even know what arrogance was then until I seen him. He wore his collar up. You know, it infuriates me. And if he'd played against me, I'd have slapped him. And I'd have kicked him, and I've gone right down his shin with me studs, and then pulled his collar back down. He just wound me up. His nickname was King Eric by the Manx. No, there was one king and one king only. His name was King Kenny Dalglish.
Yeah.
No other messing around. Stupid fools. His kung fu kick at Selhurst Park is absolutely legendary. Apparently, the fella was only shouting how long was left on Fergie's watch. He jumped over the barrier, 2-footed them. You know, he should have went to jail. He should have got a life sentence for that. That poor man. His life was ruined by Eric Cantona. He's getting me all frustrated. But more than the kick itself, you know, he'd done it in France 3 months earlier, or he got a 3-month ban for doing it to another player. He kung fu kicked someone in France. He's a rat. He went to the Jean-Claude Van Damme School of Kickboxing. Cantona was offered to Liverpool in 91, but we said no. Rightly so, because we had Ronnie Rosenthal. Cantona doesn't walk like the rest of us. I'd say he walked like he had a pole somewhere, but I can't say that. But he had a little strut, like a little bit of a dancer. He had the habit of making stupid speeches about seagulls and trawlers. What the effing hell is that all about? If you want to see seagulls, go to London. Hey, that big square, Nelson's Column, go there. Stupid fool. And listen, he can't do this acting malarkey. He looks like an old tramp. Eric Cantona wore some of the worst kits in history, and he destroyed a lot of my growing up by playing and being influencing these great teams that ruled for many years. So for that reason and that reason alone, he's going on my wall of hate.
Brilliant. Well done.
I hate him.
Thomas, just on that, I'm not sure there are many seagulls in Trafalgar Square.
I've got them. Yes,
it's a long way away from the water, that mate. And also, why don't you just go down to the Mersey?
I meant to say the Mersey. You just lost me train of thought.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, I love that. I mean, he is. So I get the reason why you hate him, because he was amazing.
Yeah.
But what a player! I mean, imagine if you're a United fan. He's got to be one of your top players ever.
Oh, listen, know what I didn't throw in? What really wound me up as well? No, when he scored that goal, that chip.
Against Sunderland.
And then he done that little turn and he was looking. Oh, and I just
What was it, Southampton?
I think he played for Man United.
Yeah.
You whopper.
That was a great goal, though.
Quality player.
Yeah.
And also, I missed out of me rant here. He got an 8-month ban for the Kung Fu kick. His first game back was Liverpool. And Robbie Fowler scored 2 of the best goals you'll see. He smashed one in the top near post.
Yeah.
Past Schmeichel, who was probably the best goalie in the world at the time.
Went past Gary Neville, didn't he?
And then he shoved Gary Neville off for the second and then chipped Schmeichel.
Oh, yeah.
And what a goal that was. I mean, absolutely. I mean, Robbie's hair bleached blonde at the time, terrible. But, I mean, that was when Robbie was at his best.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Giggs went down for an absolute atrocious penalty. Never a penalty. And then he scored the penalty and did that little, stripper pole dance, didn't he? Around the pole when he scored.
Yeah, at the back of the goal, where the net was.
Quality player, but do you know what? I can't stand the man.
It doesn't come across, though, which is lucky.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can't tell at all, Tom.
You need to just bring it out a bit more, Tom.
Yeah,
help us out.
All right, lads, so we're going to wrap up. So just before we go, let's remind everyone where we are. We're on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn Network, or, sorry, the TuneIn Radio, or go to the website, www.threemeninthefootball.com. Give us your comments. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Tell us what you want us to talk about. We're going to be around for a while.
Tom, I think could follow us on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
We're on Twitter, 3meninthefootball1. So give us a follow.
Yeah, I'm blaming you for the fact that we have to put the 1 on the end.
Yeah, I'm blaming the person who got 3 Men in the Football first.
Can't we send one of the hard men down to bully them?
Listen,
Darren, you've sent Darren. You send a strongly worded email.
Very strongly. I'll use words with 3 or 4 syllables.
Yeah, well done. All right, lads.
Those that are listening and watching, just hit the subscribe button for us. It just helps us and it shows that you're enjoying what we're doing. So we'd appreciate it. Hit the subscribe.
Yeah, we're getting some good numbers now, but the more that people can get it out for us and share it with mates, colleagues, whoever it may be, if they love football, they think they'd be interested, get it out to them. We're happy to get everyone involved.
Yeah. And take the abuse.
Yeah, keep the abuse up on you. All right, thanks, lads.
Right, lads, see you.
Thanks.
Easy.